Good evening and welcome to the power plant in Philo, where we are tonight for a big school matchup in the MVL with the visiting team John Glenn Muskies coming to Philo to face the home team Electrics. I'm Ted Snyder. He's Marcus McPeck. Thank you so much for joining us on this South 60 Films presentation of MVL basketball. And on this Friday night, we have a big versus big matchup, Marcus. John Glenn has really been playing well this year. Just one loss back on December the 9th, to Maysville. Otherwise, they're 8-1 overall, 5-1 in MVL play. The Electrics haven't fared so well, but they're starting to put it together. 5-6 overall, 2-4 in MVL play. Both these teams coming off wins in their most recent games. Philo defeating Crooksville on the road Tuesday, 73-48, while the Muskies enjoyed an 88-59 win at home against the Coshocton Redskins. As I bring Marcus in here, we're anticipating a pretty close game, we're thinking, but you just never know.
Yeah, this is a tough John Glenn team. Philo always brings it, though. They've been playing very well in their last couple games. But like you said, John Glenn, one loss on the year, and that loss is to Maysville, who's been incredible this year.
Absolutely, and they hung right in there with Maysville for 3+ quarters. Maysville just made the plays at the end of the game like a championship team does, but John Glenn, nothing to be ashamed of. They got some key wins already. Not even midway through the season, they've defeated Highland, Tri-Valley, and Cambridge, 3 very quality programs. And for the Philo Electrics, they've alternated wins and losses over their last 6. So if they could put a win here, put a win on the board here tonight, that would be back-to-back wins, something they haven't done since mid-December.
Yeah, and it would be a big, big win for them in this league, because John Glenn's second in the league. Philo, they're not ranked very high in the league. Being in a big school, it's tough, but it should be a good game.
Absolutely. Let's look over some team statistics coming into tonight. The John Glenn Little Muskies, they're outstanding offensively, 66.5 points a game. They only relinquished 49 defensively. They rebounded at a rate of 23.5 per game. And the stat that jumps out to me, Marcus, is John Glenn, their assist-to-turnover ratio. They average 14.5 assists per game and just turn it over 8 times. That's nearly 2-to-1 ratio, which is unheard of at the high school level.
Yeah, that's great.
And when you look at the flip side, the Electrics, they're just the opposite. They turn the ball over 14 times a game and average just 8.5 assists. So I think that statistic alone, if you want to look at something that could decide this game, John Glenn takes care of the ball and they share the ball well, whereas Philo can be a little sloppy at times and kind of play independently one-on-one basketball sometimes.
Yeah, and it's tough to win. It's tough to win one-on-one when you're playing against a team.
Yeah, Philo, the John Glenn Muskies, they bring a senior-laden squad. They're going to start 5 seniors, where the Philo Electrics, they're going to start 4 juniors and a sophomore. So a little bit of contradiction of experience there when you look at the starting lineups. And we'll go through those when we come back. We're going to break momentarily for the national anthem. We'll be back here in a couple minutes with your starting lineup and tip-off. And welcome back. Almost ready to tip this one off here at the power plant. I'm going to go through starting lineups here momentarily. We'll go through them for you. First for the visiting John Glenn Muskies. They will start, as I mentioned, 5 seniors. 6'2 senior Steele Bates, team's leading scorer, 22 points a game. He will start at guard. Braden Davis, a 6'3 senior. Ben Stom, a 6-foot senior. C.J. Dolan, a 6'1 senior. And Cooper Briggs, a 6'2 senior. And between that group of 5 right there, Marcus, a whole lot of playing experience considering Dolan is a 3-year starter, Bates is a 4-year starter, and Davis and Briggs are 2-year starters. So there's a lot of playing experience to go around for the John Glenn Little Muskies. Let's look at the home team, Philo Electrics. They will start like this. 5'8 junior Slade Sprankle, 5'11 sophomore Griffin Harper, 6'1 junior KJ Phillip, 6-foot junior Rusty Trout, and 6'2 junior Carter Crabtree. And for these 2 respective teams, they kind of each have one player that's kind of going to stir the drink for their team. For the Philo Electrics, it's Rusty Trout. He leads this team in points, rebounds, and steals. 14 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, and 2.5 steals per game. So the Electrics are kind of going to go as Rusty Trout goes.
Yeah, he's a great all-around player. He definitely is this team's leader. So they're going to need him to perform well tonight.
Absolutely. KJ Phillip, he chips in 11.1 a game for Philo, and he was the team's leading scorer last Tuesday with 20-plus against the Crooksville Ceramic. For the John Glenn Little Muskies, they're led in scoring by Steele Bates, 22.5 points per game, 3.6 steals per game. Those are tops on the team. C.J. Dolan averages 15 points a game and dishes out 5 assists. Those assists are best on the team. Braden Davis, just a hair under 10 points a game and just a hair under 6 rebounds per game, and his 6 rebounds lead the way for John Glenn. And if you want to look at one statistic Philo has an advantage in, it's rebounding the basketball. Philo averages nearly 27 rebounds a game as a team to just 23.5 for John Glenn. So the Electrics do crash the boards.
Yeah, and I think what that is what we talked about before the game. There's a high percentage of football players on this Philo team. So they're very physical, very physically minded.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 starters for the Electrics are football players, crossover athletes, so that strength and conditioning will come in. Whereas John Glenn, they don't have a football player in their starting lineup. These guys are basketball players through and through, with the exception of C.J. Dolan, who's an outstanding golfer in the fall. But most of these kids pretty much concentrate on basketball, and it has paid off as they are playing really well. The John Glenn Muskies are coached by Eric Scheck. The Philo Electrics are coached by Jason Trout. Jason Trout's a 2002 Philo grad. Eric Scheck, a 1999 Tri-Valley grad. And the reason I mention that is because not only do these 2 guys have history coaching against one another, but playing against one another as well. And back in the magical season of '99, Philo lost 2 games in the regular season, both to Tri-Valley, a team that was led by Eric Scheck. Just a little tidbit for these 2 head coaches going head-to-head. We are set to tip this one off. It will be KJ Phillip and Braden Davis jumping center. Philo will control the tip. Griffin Harper brings it up the floor, looking to create on his own. Cut off there by Bates. Philo going to work it around the perimeter. Rusty Trout stops, tries to feed it into Phillip, and that ball is knocked out of bounds by KJ Phillip. Turnover to John Glenn.
Definitely don't want to start with turnovers this early.
And John Glenn very active defensively. They will get in the passing lanes and try to disrupt your rhythm. Steele Bates has it. Passes cross court to Briggs. Looks for Davis. Davis gets into the lane. Back out to Stom. Braden Davis fakes the 3. Drives on his man. Contested shot up. No good. Rebound by Crabtree. Throws it off the leg of C.J. Dolan.
That's good defense by Philo.
Yeah, the Muskies love to run Davis into the lane, either with possession of the ball or off a screen and getting the ball. Another steal by John Glenn in transition. Steele Bates. 3 is no good, but there was contact on the 3 from Carter Crabtree. Steele Bates is going to earn 3 strips, 3 shots from the free throw line here.
John Glenn showed a little bit of something that I was going to talk about before the game but didn't get a chance to. they love to run a full court press.
Yeah.
They historically have a great full court press. When I was in high school, they had the best full court press I have ever seen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even let teams get across half court when I was in high school.
Yeah, they can definitely frustrate you and make you spend a lot of energy, both physically and mentally, just to get the ball past the timeline. Steele Bates is true on 2 of the 3 free throws to open the scorebook tonight. John Glenn up 2-0. And you see that pressure, and Griffin Harper breaks it with ease. Picks up his dribble, finds Trout. Trout's going to curl in and off the glass for 2. Rusty Trout's really polished game. Briggs finds Dolan, gets it quickly into Bates, finds Stom. Stom's going to drive baseline up and no good. Rebound almost corralled by Trout, but off his fingertips, out of bounds. Possession will stay with John Glenn. This John Glenn team's got a plethora of shooters that can put the ball in the basket. You can't really key on any one guy as they inbound it to Steele Bates, and he's got the first 4 of the game for John Glenn. Steele Bates, the latest member of the 1,000-point club at John Glenn, reached that milestone a week ago, the 9th member, the prestigious 1,000-point club. Griffin Harper tries to thread a pass underneath to Sprankle, and that ball's stolen away.
It was a good idea. It was a tough pass to make.
Great transition defense by Philo. Bates' aggressive move to the basket. He's fouled on his way by Griffin Harper. Second team foul already, not even 2 minutes into the game for the Electrics.
Definitely don't want to give so many free throws to such a great shooting team.
Absolutely. I mentioned Steele Bates joined the 1,000-point club, the first to do it since 2023 when Nathan Walker reached that milestone, now a player at Muskingum University. Free throws up and good for Steele Bates. Scores John Glenn 6, Philo 2. See that full court pressure applied by the Muskies. And Rusty Trout saw the trap coming, breaks it with ease, but unable to complete the layup on the other end. Back comes Bates. Cooper Briggs for 3, in and out. That ball was halfway down and bounced out. Rusty Trout has it poked away from behind, and Steele Bates nearly throws the ball away. A little bit of sloppy play back and forth to open this one. Sideline out of bounds for John Glenn. Cooper Briggs will be the trigger man. Finds Dolan out high. He'll work his way into the lane. Looks it over to Ben Stom. Back out high to Dolan. Gets it over to Briggs. He'll try again. That one's nothing but net. Cooper Briggs only averages 6.5 points a game, but he's a very, very streaky shooter. When he sees one go in, look out.
Could be a long night for Philo if he keeps hitting them.
KJ Phillip temporarily trapped down in the corner. Finds Trout, but Trout loses the ball. Muskies in transition are slowed down. Good transition defense once again by Philo. Little ticky-tack foul out top. That's going to be on Slade Sprankle. That's going to be his second of the ball game. That's going to draw our first substitution of the night. Cole Cash, another football player, going to make his way onto the floor, replacing Sprankle.
What we're seeing early here is Philo's not doing a good job at taking advantage of John Glenn's double teams. Everybody that's getting the balls has got 2 players on them. So somebody has to be open, but they're not finding that man.
Yeah, the Muskies are trying to trap all over the floor. And Philo's been able to wiggle their way out of them, but just throw a sloppy pass and turn the ball over. That's one thing we talked about in pregame. You cannot turn the ball over against John Glenn. You let the Muskies get out and get easy baskets in transition. They're already efficient enough offensively. You give them easy baskets, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah. And we're already seeing the effects of it.
Yeah. 9-2 our score early, not even 3 minutes into the game. This Muskie team, with the exception of that Maysville game, has been dominant. They haven't just won games. They've been blowing teams out.
Yep.
Dolan will inbound. He finds Briggs. Briggs will find Steele Bates high out on the right wing. Bates to Dolan. Dolan's cut off there. Back to Bates in the corner, guarded closely by Harper. There's Dolan. He loves the top of the key, and that ball's off the mark. Rebounded by Griffin Harper. And he's going to look to get it up the floor quickly. Wide open man is Cole Cash, just into the game. He converts 9-4. Muskies on top.
And that's what you got to do in those pressure situations. There's always going to be somebody open.
Bates up and under, unable to convert. Rebound Braden Davis. Great offensive rebounder, but he turns the ball over. And Cole Cash loses his balance, falls to the floor, and gets called for a travel. Very unfortunate break for the Electrics. It'll be sideline out of bounds for John Glenn. C.J. Dolan finds Briggs. Briggs over to Bates. He doesn't have space, looking to get that shot off. There's Briggs again from the wing, and that's off the mark. Braden Davis battles for the rebound, but it goes out of bounds. They're going to say off K.J. Phillip. Possession will stay with John Glenn. Steele Bates will be the inbounder. Ball nearly stolen away. And we're going to get a jump ball as simultaneous possession between Trout and Briggs. Possession will stay with John Glenn. It's it into Briggs. Finds Dolan. Back to Briggs. Little two-man game out top. Steele Bates on the left wing. Tries to penetrate. Nothing there. Great defense there by Harper. Bates gets it back, looking for some space. He's going to draw contact. They're really doing a good job defensively, not allowing Steele Bates any clean looks. They're contesting everything.
They're playing very good man-to-man defense.
Yeah. Where they've been hurt early in this game has been turnovers and transition. Their half-court defense has been solid.
Yep, and their fouls. The fouls have been get to them.
First one up and good for Bates. 7 of the Muskies' 10 on the night so far. Goes to Bates, make it 8 out of 11. 11-4 is our score. John Glenn going to drop back, not show any pressure this trip. Harper walks it up the floor. Now Trout's going to set up the offense. Guarded by C.J. Dolan. K.J. Phillip on the high elbow is fouled by Steele Bates. Little reach-in foul on Bates. That's the first team foul on John Glenn. 4 team fouls already committed by Philo. The next team foul, Marcus, puts John Glenn in the bonus the remainder of the first quarter.
Yeah, they got too many fouls too early.
This is Carter Crabtree. Out to K.J. Phillip, finds Harper. Harper's going to shoot a 3 off the mark. Rebounded by Cole Cash. Fakes up and under and gets it to go. Cole Cash, 4 quick points for the Electric 6, and he's made his mark on this game already.
Yeah, that's a great bucket. He went up strong with it.
Great look there by Braden Davis. Gets it to Dolan off the mark. Missed a wide open bunny, and Trout quickly up the floor. Finds Cash, who kicks it out to Crabtree. Great fake. He'll trigger a 3. Good. Here come the Electrics, 11-9. John Glenn has the lead. Steele Bates controls. Guarded closely there by Harper. It's Ben Stom on the drive, and he gets the baseline floater to go. 13-9 in favor of the Muskies. Philo's kind of settled in now, Marcus. Looked a little more confident.
Yeah, they're moving the ball better too.
Yeah. They're spacing offensively a lot better.
Exactly.
After that last timeout. This will be Cole Cash out front. Poked away, but right into the arms of Rusty Trout. He's working against C.J. Dolan. Cross-court pass, I think, was deflected, and it was off the hands of Steele Bates. Possession will stay with the Electrics. Had a couple of subs coming in for John Glenn. Number 12, Oakley Zeminski, and number 31, Hayden Ginser. Going to give Cooper Briggs and Braden Davis a breather. Rusty Trout controls out high. CJ Dolan gets his hand on the basketball. Nearly stolen away, but kept it. There's Crabtree from up high. He wanted another look at that three ball. There's Cole Cash around CJ Dolan. Shot is blocked, but I think they're going to get Dolan with the body. They are. CJ Dolan guilty of the personal foul, his first of the game, second team foul of the quarter. It's going to send Cole Cash to the line. Chance to add to his scoring total already. First one, no good. You know what, we did several Philo football games, and Cole Cash is an outstanding defensive football player.
Just a good altogether athlete.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can tell just looking at him, too. He's built strong.
Second one up and good for Cash. 5 of the 10 electric points off the bench from Cole Cash. Steele Bates handles out high, closely guarded there by Griffin Harper. Ben Stom wide open on the left wing. And he will find Zeminski, who gets it to Dolan. Dolan guarded closely there by Cole Cash. Picks up his dribble, gets it out to Bates. Bates looking for a screen, and he's going to take it out to the high at the top of the key. Look to penetrate. Cut off there and just harassed in there. Loses the basketball, stolen by the Electrics. 3 different Electrics had their hands in the cookie jar, not sure who it was. Harper gets it out to Trout. Electrics looking for something in transition, unable to get anything, not able to get a clean look in transition, but ball tapped out of bounds by John Glenn.
Trout's been just a little bit sloppy on his passes to start this game, and it's hurting him a little bit.
Here comes Rusty Trout down the lane, up and under, off the rim, no good. Ball touched every inch of the rim without going in. Great pass by Dolan to Zeminski, and he's unable to convert. Philo back the other way quickly. It's Griffin Harper, he's cut off. Dangerous pass, finds its way to Crabtree. He'll launch the three, it's no good. Defensive rebound there by CJ Dolan. 50 seconds remaining here in quarter one. 13-10 advantage for John Glenn. And tell you what, this Electrics defense has really played well the last 4 minutes.
They have been playing incredible defense.
Off the mark is the three from Bates. Tapped out to Stom. He'll shoot the three. That's off as well. And Philo, a chance to tie with a three with just 25 seconds left. This game was 9-2 at one point. Trout is harassed. It looks like Trout's going to get bailed out there by a foul call. Yeah, they're going to get number 13, Oakley Zeminski, with the personal foul.
You talked about this game was 9-2 just a few minutes ago.
Yep.
And I think what really was the spark is that Philo was finally able to break that pressure and get a bucket off of it. And I think it gave them the confidence to really run with it.
Philo in the midst of an 8-4 run. And with possession, 10 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Trout picks up his dribble. Gets it, and the ball is stolen. Up ahead to Steele Bates. And what a defensive play by Rusty Trout to save 2 points. As he blocked the Steele Bates shot out of bounds, or did they call a nope, they're just going to say out of bounds. Yep. So yeah, outstanding defensive play by Rusty Trout.
I wouldn't have guessed coming into this that this was going to be a defensive slugfest.
Yeah, I would not have either. Dolan to inbound, gets it into Bates. And we're going to get a foul, and regardless if this is in the act or on the floor, it's going to be free throws because this will be the 5th foul of the quarter, and this will be 2 free throws with no time left on the clock for Steele Bates.
I think that could have been a little bit of a makeup call.
Yeah. First one up and good for Bates. Second one good as well. So that will do it for the first quarter of play. Quickly moving first half. Our score after one, John Glenn 15, Philo 10. We'll be right back with the second quarter action.
You're good.
Second quarter set to begin here from the power plant. Muskies enjoying a 15-10 lead at the moment. Ted Snyder, Marcus McPeck with you for this one tonight. Rusty Trout's going to walk it up the floor. Guarded out there closely by Zeminski. Shot up and no good. Rebound to the Muskies. And Dolan harassed there. Braden Davis, aggressive move to the basket, but he's going to get called for the offensive foul. Great position down there by KJ Phillip.
That's a great defensive play because that could have been the bucket that busted this wide open.
Yeah, the Electrics are getting back in transition defense extremely well and forcing the Muskies to play a half-court game. You can see a little more pressure here by John Glenn. Trout controls, guarded by Dolan. Looks like Briggs wanted to trap, but unable to do so. Ball goes out of bounds. They're going to say last touch by the Muskies. Cole Cash will be the inbounder. Got a foul away from the ball. An offensive foul away from the ball before the ball was inbounded against the Electrics. Not sure what that was.
Yeah, I didn't catch what happened.
They said a player control foul offensively, so that'll give possession back to the Muskies. Steele Bates looks to penetrate, nothing there. Gives it off to Stom. Back to Dolan, who finds Briggs. Back to Dolan, deep in the left wing. Thought about a three, but thought better. Braden Davis now finds Bates in the corner. Nothing but nylon for Steele Bates. Give him 13 in the game. Extends the Muskie lead to 8.
And that was another play where Philo was playing very good half-court defense.
Yeah, just an outstanding shooter is Steele Bates, 6'2" senior. This is Crabtree. Can't find any space. Gets it back to Trout. Guarded there by Stom. Down low, the ball finds its way to Cole Cash. He gets it up off the glass and good. Cole Cash having himself a first half, 7 points for the sub off the bench. Dolan, he'll fire from the left wing, and that ball's good. May have been contact as well, but that's a moot point. 21-12, John Glenn advantage. Crabtree, a long three.
Oh.
Ball nearly saved from going out of bounds, but right into the arms of a John Glenn Muskie. They'll quickly get it up the floor. This is Bates looking to penetrate, but those lanes have just been cut off. Dolan way outside. That's another one. That was about a 24-footer right there, Marcus. And it's only a matter of time before those start going in.
Yeah, and Philo is starting to try to have a shoot-off with them, and they're not going to win that game.
Yeah, John Glenn been pretty cold shooting in the first quarter. Now the floodgates starting to open. Second consecutive three for C.J. Dolan. And Dolan has 6 here in the second quarter. You mentioned Steele Bates, 13. So between Bates and Dolan, they have 19 of the Muskies' 24 points, and that's kind of how it goes on a night-to-night basis for John Glenn. Those two combined for half, if not more, of the Muskie points.
Yep.
But you really cannot sleep on the other guys. Braden Davis is a very underrated offensive player, and Cooper Briggs is a three-point specialist. He's really not going to threaten off the dribble very often, but if you give him any space outside,
yep,
he's a lethal three-point shooter. Philo just needs to lock back in defensively in their half-court sets and take care of the basketball offensively.
Absolutely.
Those turnovers are turning into points in the other direction for the Muskies. And
Philo, they need this game to be slower. Yep. They need to slow the pace down, get into their own half-court sets, defend at the half-court level to keep this from being a run-and-gun match.
Yeah, I completely agree. Griffin Harper is going to break the timeline, take it himself, coast to coast, unable to get it off the glass and up and in. Rebound to John Glenn. Steele Bates going to bring it down. Looking for Dolan. Dolan's the hot hand. He finds Cooper Briggs. Off the back rim, no good. Great rebound there by Griffin Harper. Harassed by C.J. Dolan. Dolan just a tenacious defender.
Yeah.
They're going to get a reach-in foul. I believe it's going to be on Briggs. It is. Cooper Briggs. He came and tried to trap as the second defender and reached in the process. His first personal foul. So inbounded to Harper. Philo right now with Trout and Crabtree both on the bench. This is going to be a challenging stretch for Philo.
Yeah. I was just about to say the same thing.
And that was Walker Dupler, the big 6'5" freshman. Gets that one up and in from the baseline, cuts the lead back to 10, 24-14. There's Dolan. Surprised he didn't take a look at that, as hot as he's been. But Steele Bates will shoot from the left wing, draws it nothing but air. And Griffin Harper controls Sprankle.
Yep.
Sprankle's going to get called for the carry.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah. Yeah, both Rusty Trout, Carter Crabtree, both taking a breather right now for Philo. So Philo settling into a 2-3 zone now in a half-court defense. That's going to leave some wide open threes. That's Braden Davis from the baseline. That was a tough angle, but he made it look easy.
That's a great shot.
And that's Davis's first 2 of the night. Extends the Muskie lead back to 12, 26-14. Sprankle to Phillip in the corner, quickly out to Cash, back to Sprankle. He looks to feed to Dupler. That ball stolen away by Braden Davis. Quickly back in transition are the Electrics. Bates dribbles up, finds Dolan. He's out on the right wing. Braden Davis will take 3. That's short off the rim. Ball is rebounded by Harper. He quickly finds KJ Phillip. He takes an aggressive path to the rim. Ball partially blocked. And they're going to say that ball was deflected by Phillip off the underside of the backboard. Yeah. Possession to John Glenn.
Just an unfortunate bounce for Philo.
Yeah. With all the chaotic play, the Electrics still have to like the situation they're in, just down 12. They can still make some adjustments here in game, and this game has not gotten out of hand.
It has not. This could have been much worse for them the way the game started.
Yeah. You mentioned John Glenn came out of the gates early with a 9-2 run, but Philo responded with an 8-4 run of their own. I think that little mini run in the first quarter gave them some confidence.
Yeah.
But they do have some players already with a couple of fouls each, so we'll have to keep an eye on the personal fouls for the Electrics.
They have cooled off a little bit on their fouls this quarter, which is good to see.
C.J. Dolan drives into the lane. They're going to get a reach-in foul on Philo. It's going to be on Griffin Harper. That's Griffin Harper's third personal foul, and that's a tough one because he's been their primary ball handler, and he's been all over the defensive boards.
Yeah, he's been playing very well. He's the player that's primarily been breaking the pressure for them.
Ball inbounded to Bates. He's unable to convert. Gets it back, and he won't miss that one twice. Up and in off the glass for Bates. Give him 15. Lead back out to 14 for John Glenn. Cole Cash to the basket, unable to get that one up and in, but Cooper Briggs quickly up to steal Bates. He finds number 31, which is Hayden Ginzer. That ball is going to be tapped out off John Glenn. Possession to the Electrics. Electrics need a basket in the worst way.
Yes, they do.
Right here. It seems like they've been stalled on 14 for several minutes. Cole Cash is going to come out of the game. He gave them a really good spark off the bench. 7 points for him.
Yeah, he's what kept them alive.
Yeah. Trout back in the game for the Electrics. He'll walk it up. Defended by Ben Stom. Finds Phillip on the high elbow. KJ Phillip. Quiet night for him so far. Carter Crabtree, little two-man game with Sprankle. Now they run a weave out top. Rusty Trout lets go of the three ball. It's no good. KJ Phillip misses the bunny putback. That's just the way the night has gone so far for the Electrics.
Just unfortunate. Great
no-look pass from Bates, but Ginzer unable to get that one up and in. Great contest there by the freshman Dupler. Great fake by Phillip. He'll shoot the three. A little short. That ball's rebounded by Stom. Once again, great transition defense by Philo.
Yep.
It's going to be a wide open corner three from Dolan, and he hits nothing. I think so the shooting will continue for John Glenn. You don't see them draw air too often.
Especially not a wide open shot like that.
Yeah. Maybe they're too open. Here comes Slade Sprankle up the floor, breaks the timeline, gives it off to Crabtree. That's going to be a reach-in foul on Oakley Zeminski. That's the third team foul against John Glenn. Each of these teams, 3 team fouls here in the second quarter. A minute and a half to play before halftime. Philo could really use a basket right here. Rusty Trout is going to try to penetrate. He goes down the left side of the lane, gets it into Phillip. Phillip up off the glass and good. Just what the doctor ordered. 28-16, Muskie advantage.
Yeah, they needed that bucket bad.
Braden Davis, nice fake and beautiful pass to C.J. Dolan. And that's just Muskie basketball in a nutshell right there. Sharing the basketball to a wide open look.
And Philo's been doing a good job at shutting that down all night. Playing very well in their half-court defense like we've been talking about.
Cooper Briggs sets his feet. And he is deadly from that spot. Loves the left wing. And all of a sudden, John Glenn out in front 33-16. Rusty Trout, coast to coast, does it by himself. Cuts the lead back to 15. See how aggressive Coach Eric Scheck wants to be here. 30 seconds remaining. See if he'll hold for one. Muskies don't look to be in any hurry here offensively, but if a look presents itself just like that, they will certainly take it. Cooper Briggs to the basket. He has 8 in the ball game. Lead back out to 17 for John Glenn. Gonna get a blocking foul. Going to steal Bates. And that's his second team foul. That's his second personal foul. So yeah, he's just 4 seconds remain prior to halftime, but you got to get him off the floor.
Yeah, you don't want to risk him getting a stupid foul for no reason.
4.1. Philo will inbound underneath the John Glenn basket. Inbounded and up and in. Grant Rhodes, another sub, gets it up and in off the glass, and that'll do it for the first half of action. And our score after one half of play, John Glenn 35, Philo 20. We're going to break for halftime. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so with second half action. And welcome back to the power plant. Ted Snyder, Marcus McPeck with you for the ride tonight. Our halftime score is the visiting Muskies 35, the home team Philo Electrics 20. We're going to go into some of the first half highlights here momentarily. Out to KJ Phillip. See how we got to the score. Harper's going to shoot a three off the mark. Rebounded by Cole Cash. Fakes up and under and gets it that good. See right
missed
now
a wide open Bunny and Trout.
See, this
quickly
is
up
Philo
the floor.
was in the midst of
finds Cash,
cutting into that John Glenn lead.
Great fake.
He'll be a three from Crabtree.
Good. Has the lead. Steele Bates controls. Guarded closely there by
John Glenn
Harper.
trying to penetrate that Philo defense.
Ben Stom on the drive.
Philo half-court defenses
finds Briggs back
held their ground for the most part.
Thought about a
You
three.
see Dolan, a great pass into Braden Davis.
Now
who
finds
finds a
Bates
wide
in the
open
corner.
Bates for three from the corner.
Nothing but not.
By Stom.
Down low, finds ball
You see,
finds
this
its way
is
to Cole Cash. He gets it up off the glass
for two of his
good.
7 in the first half.
Cole Cash having himself a first half, 7 points for the sub off the bench.
Dolan,
he'll fire from the left
caught a hot
wing.
hand
That ball's
about midway
good
through the
to get it
second
up the
quarter.
floor.
Hit himself a couple of threes.
Bates looking to penetrate, but those lanes
Here's
have
the
just been
second
cut
of
off.
Dolan's
Dolan
threes
way
right here from the
outside.
top of the key. And he's very decisive. When he decides he's ready to shoot the ball, he has a very quick trigger. Very hard to contest his shot. But for the most part, I got to say, this Philo half-court defense has done their part. Their offense has not held up their end of the bargain and kept them in this game. They have squandered opportunities on the offensive side with turnovers and missed shots at the rim.
Yeah, it's really their offense is letting them down, like you said. They're just not scoring at the clip they need to. They're playing a little sloppy. They're not moving the ball the way they need to, and I think they're getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And it's making them play even worse. They're kind of rushing to get going, and it's harming them.
Absolutely. It's hard not to feel like you're under the gun when teams are making a run against you, extending their leads out to double figures. So you can't fault the Electrics for trying to put some points on the board, but I think you mentioned it prior to the game. Philo's best chance is to slow the game down to a pace they're comfortable with and try to win it that way. You're never going to win an up and down the court shootout against John Glenn. There's just too many offensive weapons out there for John Glenn, too much playing experience. But this Electrics team does show some promise. They have some really good athletes. If they can just limit their turnovers, and that's what I said prior to the game. They turn the ball over at a very high rate, more than 14 a game, and that's the case again tonight. Their turnovers are leading to transition opportunities for John Glenn.
Yeah, the turnovers are really getting to them for sure. They've been playing good transition defense, but there's only so much you can do if you're turning the ball over so consistently.
Absolutely. So the leading scorers in the first half for John Glenn. Steele Bates leads the way with 15. Cooper Briggs and C.J. Dolan 8 points apiece. For the Philo Electrics, they're led by Cole Cassius 7, Rusty Trout's 4. Quickly, third quarter action quickly underway as C.J. Dolan to the basket for 2. And let's see if the Muskies don't get super aggressive here to begin this third quarter. That ball deflected by Stom, but corralled by Carter Crabtree. A little one-on-one game. Now, Sprankle and Griffin. Rusty Trout triggers a long three, comes up air, and there's Slade Sprankle, the smallest guy on the floor, for the offensive rebound and putback. Steele Bates works against Rusty Trout. Very close defense there by Trout. Gets it over to Braden Davis. He gets into the lane, cut off there by KJ Phillip. Steele Bates, who tried to throw it off an Electric defender, but as it ricocheted back out of bounds, it hit Bates before it hit anything out of bounds. So good call there by the official underneath the hoop.
Yeah, it was a good effort, just didn't quite work out.
He tried to throw it off an Electric, but and the ball ricocheted back. It hit him when he was standing out of bounds. So out of bounds, back to the Electrics. Trout finds Crabtree. He fakes a three, gets in the lane. That's going to be an offensive foul against Carter Crabtree. could see that coming a mile away. Great defensive position by Cooper Briggs as he set his feet right on the block and took that contact to the chest. Steel Bates will work it up. Gets it over to Ben Stom. He tries to penetrate, cut off by Crabtree. Cooper Briggs gets it into Davis. Defended by KJ Phillip. Davis works one-on-one. Gets it out. They're going to swing it around the perimeter. Back to Davis at the elbow. Gets it to Bates. He's cut off there by Trout. Good defensive possession here by Philo. Briggs is going to trigger a three off the mark. And that's where you got to rebound the basketball. They allowed an offensive rebound, a second chance opportunity, and that's going to be free throws coming for Ben Stom. That was an outstanding defensive possession for Philo. They just need to come up with that rebound.
Yep, they kind of got broken up a little bit there in the chaos of it and lost their positioning on the rebound.
Ben Stom cashes in from the line. Not a big score, more of a role player is Stom. 8.9 points per game coming into tonight. But a very, very steady player. Sprankle quickly up the floor, deflected out by John Glenn. Go ahead, Marcus.
I was going to say that those like 5 to 8 point per night guys that just come and play hard consistently, those are the guys you need on your team to win.
Absolutely. Everybody has to have a role, and everyone has to embrace that role for you if you're going to be an elite team. Trout gets a step on his defender, but unable to finish at the rim. Ball deflected around, finally corralled by Stom. Quickly up the floor of the Muskies. Stom's going to trigger a three, and that's good. 5 quick third quarter points for Stom, give him 7 in the game. The lead out to 20, 42-22, John Glenn advantage. Trout, once again, great penetration, great jump stop, able to finish. 6 points on the night for Trout. Stom holds out high once again, guarded by Crabtree. Dolan thought about a long three, thought better, gives it back to Stom. Stom will penetrate, tries to dish to Davis. Great instincts defensively by Sprankle. And he turns it over, tries to get the ball to KJ Phillip, but throws an errant pass. And just another opportunity squandered there by Philo.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we were saying. They play great defense down here, and then they do something to throw it away.
Zeminski in the game off the bench for John Glenn here early in the third. He has replaced Ben Stom. Zeminski gets it off to Steel Bates, closely guarded by Rusty Trout. Braden Davis will try the three, and that's good. Kind of an awkward looking jump shot, but it's effective.
As long as it goes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Give Braden Davis 5 points on the night. Muskie advantage 45-24. Rusty Trout guarded by Zeminski. Gets that ball away to Harper. He goes to the rim, unable to convert on the lay-in. Braden Davis rebounds, gets it to Steel Bates quickly up the floor, and that ball's stolen by Rusty Trout. Electric's got an opportunity here. And 1, 2, 3 opportunities, unable to convert. Trout missed one. KJ Phillip missed 2 tip-ins. And that's just the kind of night it's been for Philo. Braden Davis triggers another three. Maybe a little bit of a heat check there.
But Philo's shooting like there's a lid on the rim.
Yeah.
Philo substitution number 23, Cole Cash. Also at the Electrics number 4, Cohen Davis.
Yeah, the Electrics have been steadily improving throughout the season. You mentioned they coming off a big win against Crooksville, but prior to that, they went on the road and only lost by 4 to a very, very athletic Columbus Independence team, a game in which Philo had a chance to win.
Rusty Trout just asked out on the sideline here. I think the pace of the game is really starting to get to him. It's starting to exhaust him.
A very, very interesting situation. C.J. Dolan. Yeah, this pace that the Muskies put on you, it can be frenetic at times. It's controlled chaos is what it's mostly referred to. Cooper Briggs drives baseline. The Muskies very patient on this trip. C.J. Dolan drives. He's going to draw some contact on his way to the rim, and he's going to earn him a trip to the free throw line. Yeah, the Muskies play very fast, but they play under control and fast. Anyone can play fast, but unless you can play under control, it doesn't serve you any purpose. We mentioned go ahead.
That's really the difference that we're seeing here, is that both of the teams are playing very fast, but John Glenn is fast, but very in control of that speed.
Yep. That comes with a lot of playing experience out there on the floor.
Exactly.
Sprankle going to find his way to the rim. He draws contact. That's going to be a personal foul. It's going to be a shooting foul. Okay, that foul was called on Ben Stom. Trying to make out the number here. Slade Sprankle's going to shoot 2. First one up and good. Second offering from Sprankle, also good. Cuts the lead back to 20, 46-26. C.J. Dolan gets it over to Stom. He'll give it to Briggs. Briggs will shoot a deep 3, and that's good. Too much space.
Way too much space.
Give these guys space, and they will make you pay. 11 points on the night for Cooper Briggs, doubling his season average. Sprankle's going to trigger a 3, and that's off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Dolan. C.J. Dolan quickly up the floor for John Glenn. Cut off by Harper. Stom, great pass to Briggs, but he's unable to convert the reverse lay-in. He just got a little bit ahead of himself, did Briggs.
Buried himself under the rim a little.
Yeah. He's trying to prevent the ball from being blocked, and it ended up being blocked by the underside of the rim. Bates loses his footing, goes down, no travel called. Still loses possession of the ball. A lot of contact coming back the other way as well, as Stom harassing Sprankle on his way down the floor.
The refs,
that's Cole Cash, rather.
Yeah, the refs have been a little bit inconsistent on what is and isn't a foul tonight.
Great ball movement by John Glenn. Triggers a corner 3 by Stom. No good. Rebounded by Cole Cash. Quickly up the floor to Griffin Harper. He's going to look to find something. Drives in. Cut off there. Sprankle's going to try it again. That ball's no good. Offensive rebound by Cohen Davis off the bench for Philo. Griffin Harper spin move. Hard foul by Ben Stom as Harper hits the floor hard. He's going to earn his trip to the line. A minute 40 remaining here in the third quarter. The third quarter has been all John Glenn.
Yeah, Philo just struggling to get a bucket.
Second one up and good for Harper. We're going to have a full timeout on the floor. Let's take a break, and we will be right back with the remainder of the third quarter. A minute 40 remaining here in the third quarter between Philo and John Glenn. The road team, Muskies, enjoying a 22-point lead. 49-27 is the Muskie advantage, and they will inbound the ball and have to go 94 feet. Looks like Philo is going to apply some full court pressure. First trap unsuccessful, and John Glenn breaks it with ease. Oakley Zeminski is going to look like he was going to go in for two. Yeah. Closely contested there by the Electrics, though.
Yep, I believe he might have got a hand on it. I couldn't quite tell.
Carter Crabtree trying to find some space. This is going to be Cole Cash from deep. And that ball's nothing but Cash from the top of the key. Give him 10 in the game. He leads all scorers for the Electrics.
He's having a very good night.
Sure is. Wide open look for Ben Stom. And he answers back with a three of his own. He's having a big third quarter. Scoreless in the first half. All 10 of his points coming here in the third quarter for Stom.
He's really come alive.
Griffin Harper will shoot the three, and that one's good. All of a sudden, the lids have came off these baskets. Threes raining down from both sides. Braden Davis, control stop, finds Zeminski down the lane. Oakley Zeminski converts the two, draws contact. Chance for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yep. It's good to finally see some buckets for Philo, but they're still playing John Glenn's game.
Yeah.
And it's still not. They're not bringing any points back. They're just trading.
Yeah, they're forced to take quick shots in their offense because they're trailing by 21,
yep.
But that's not their identity. It's not really who they are.
Yep.
So they're a little bit out of their comfort zone, but the Electric team is going to fight till the zero's on the clock, I assure you of that.
Absolutely.
Cole Cash rebounds the miss from Stom. And that's Sprankle bringing it up the floor, finds Trout, crosses over his defender, gets in the lane, unable to convert. Point blank range. Ben Stom with the rebound. And Electric's trying to trap, but John Glenn just great job of finding the open man. Oh, great look right there.
Incredible pass.
That was Ginser to Braden Davis. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Our score after three, John Glenn 56, Philo 33. Don't go anywhere. We have the fourth quarter when we come back. Fourth quarter action set to begin from the power plant. What looked to be a promising game in the second quarter, and now sees John Glenn in front by 23. Philo possesses the ball to open the quarter. They need to get something going and going in a hurry. This is Griffin Harper off his feet, finds the man underneath, and that's Grant Rhodes off the bench, unable to convert. John Glenn bring it back up the floor. We'll see what kind of pace Eric Scheck wants to play with here in this fourth quarter with such a big lead. See if John Glenn doesn't get a little more deliberate in their half-court offense.
They haven't been running a whole lot of offensive sets this game. It's been a lot of just run and gun. I assume that's going to change for this quarter.
Little pick and roll. One of the oldest plays in the game. Cooper Briggs finds the rolling Braden Davis to the basket for 2. Rusty Trout quickly up the floor, almost loses his balance, finds KJ Phillip. He's unable to convert the bunny. Rebounded by Braden Davis. John Glenn finds Steele Bates, unable to convert. Grant Rhodes with the rebound for the Electrics. Sprankle will bring it up the floor. Finds Trout. Trout's going to launch a 3. That's nothing but net. Trout's a pure shooter.
Yep, that's a great shot.
Yep. 9 points in the game for the team's leading scorer. Steele Bates finds a wide open CJ Dolan. He just walks into the low block and shoots it in up off the glass. 60-36 in favor of John Glenn. Grant Rhodes off the bench, and he's a big kid, 6'4" sophomore. In the first half, we saw 6'5" freshman Walker Dupler. So a lot of big kids in the underclassmen here for Philo. You know, we mentioned all their starters underclassmen, 4 juniors and a sophomore. And then you got a 6'4" and 6'5" kid who are freshmen and sophomore respectively.
Yeah.
I mean, the future is looking bright here at Philo, especially the next couple years.
Yeah. I think they're going to be very good next year.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with Cam Stoner. Notice he's on the roster, but just sitting on the bench in street clothes. He was a key piece to this Electric team a year ago. They sure could use him.
Yeah.
This is Trout. He blows by Cooper Briggs and shoots from the elbow. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Braden Davis for John Glenn.
Trout just can't get a bucket within 10 feet.
Yeah. Philo's had a lot of trouble converting from 6-8 feet and in tonight. John Glenn very, very patient here. Just passing around the perimeter. Enjoying a 25-point lead. 5 minutes remain in the game. Stom gives it to Davis. A little shot in the lane, and that's good. Braden Davis, he's a very efficient player in the lane.
Yep.
Not flashy, but he can get it done.
He's got a very nice touch, too.
Sure does. This is Griffin Harper driving to the basket and finds Trout. Trout's going to find Phillip. He'll throw up a 19-footer, no good. Rebounded there by Rhodes. Up and in. Grant Rhodes, a 6'4" sophomore. He's got 4. Dolan, wide open look, no good. That ball's going to be off Braden Davis, back to the Electrics. Cole Cash, Carter Crabtree back in the game for Philo. Grant Rhodes, as well as Griffin Harper, will get a breather. This is Crabtree. I think that was partially deflected. It came up short. I think that's because Braden Davis got a fingertip on that.
Yep, I believe you're right.
But the ball was last touched by John Glenn. So Philo will retain possession. Trout looking to trigger from deep. He doesn't need much space. Up off, great rebound in traffic by Phillip. He's able to finally get one to go. Has to feel good for Phillip. Just 4 points on the night. The team's second leading scorer coming in. Steele Bates working one-on-one against Trout. Gets it off to Briggs. There's Briggs from the corner, and that's nothing but nylon. 14 on the night for Briggs.
He's having a very good game.
Yeah, all 5 Muskie starters now in double figures. Just outstanding balance.
Yeah. And it's what you were saying at the beginning of the game. They move the ball well. They're a very egalitarian team, and they can all shoot.
Yeah, it's wild. So in this game, Steele Bates leads the way with 15. Cooper Briggs 14. C.J. Dolan 13. And Braden Davis had 13, and Ben Stom 10. So all 5 starters in double figures. Just great balance. Ball deflected by Dolan. Cash retrieves it out of the backcourt. This John Glenn team still applying defensive pressure with a big lead. It's going to be a 3-ball for Griffin Harper off the mark. John Glenn tries to throw it up ahead. Wild pass. We're going to see what we get here. It's going to be a foul, I believe, on Griffin Harper. 4th personal on Harper. The 3rd team foul on Philo. It'll be baseline out of bounds. John Glenn yet to commit a team foul in the 4th quarter. Dolan gets in the lane, and that's child's play. 2 more for Dolan, give him 15 in the game. This Muskie lead out to 28. A timeout on the floor called by Jason Trout. Marcus, this score 68-40, it kind of got out of control quickly here in the second half. Thought maybe Philo could make some adjustments and hang in there in the 3rd quarter, and John Glenn came out gangbusters there in the 3rd quarter.
It really started in the 2nd quarter when the pace picked up a lot.
Yeah.
The ball started to fall for John Glenn. It did not start to fall for Philo until recently, and it's just the score's been ballooning since.
A lot of basketball to be played yet this season. We're right at about the halfway mark. All the teams have played around 10 or 11 games. With the exception of Philo, they've just played 9. But most of the teams right around the 10, 11 game mark. So we're heading into the stretch run of the season where it will be all division games. It will be all big versus big, small versus small. This is where conference championships are earned here in January and February.
Yeah, and it's an unfortunate stretch for Philo because the big school division is just so good in the MVL this season. The MVL's it's a very good division this season.
Sure,
but
yeah.
The big school at the top, it's just so stacked up.
And then you have Maysville in the small division, which is obviously the best school in the best team in the entire league, just happened to reside in the small. But yeah, you're right though. But John Glenn had no trouble dispatching Sheridan or Tri-Valley. They played them both so far and beat them both with ease. So you got to think John Glenn is the front runner in the big division right now. Got a lot of subs now on the floor for both squads. Going to play out the remaining 90 seconds of this game. Stolen away there by Cole Cash, who's having a whale of a game. Up and in for Cash. Give him 14 on the night. Might need to think about a starting role for Cole Cash, but you know, you need those role players off the bench.
Absolutely, you need a spark plug.
Absolutely, you need something to turn to when you're struggling, and Cole Cash has provided that spark tonight for the Electrics for sure. And both these coaches now digging deep into their benches. See some warm-ups being shed for the first time tonight.
Yep.
Got Rowdy Zimba, 6'1" sophomore. Cash Paisley, 6-foot junior in the game for John Glenn. As well as Jackson Polly I see in there. Last name should sound familiar to John Glenn fans. dad, Zach, 1994 grad. There's some players out here getting their first taste of varsity action.
Yeah.
You see some jitters out there. There's Polly.
They're still bringing it, though.
Polly up and in for two. Some varsity points for Jackson Polly.
And this is important for these young players to get this experience. I know it feels like dead time to a lot of people, but it really is important for them.
Just 5 seconds remaining in this one. We'll see what happens here in the last 5 seconds. They're just going to inbound it and run this out. And 3, 2, 1, and that's going to do it for us at the power plant. Final score: Philo, or the John Glenn Muskies 70, the Philo Electrics 46. We're going to step aside for a moment. We'll be right back to wrap this one up for you. And we are final here from the power plant in Philo, where the road team, John Glenn Muskies, has come out with a decisive victory, 70-46, and they did it with a true team effort, Marcus.
Yes,
all 5 starters in double figures, led by Steele Bates' 15, and that's really the name of the game, where they really created a lot of turnovers and took care of the basketball themselves. And for Philo, this score is not indicative of how the game was played.
No.
There was a lid on the basket from 6 feet and in for Philo the entire game. They just could not get anything to fall down low. But it was a valiant effort by the Electrics throughout this game. And the bright spot for them, Cole Cash, 14 off the bench.
Yeah, he played very well, and like you said, they played good. They just could not get the ball to fall. And I think when they go back and watch the film, I think they can hang their hat on that. Like they played very good defense throughout most of the game, and on offense they were getting to the bucket. They were getting their offensive rebounds. They just could not get the points that they needed.
We mentioned the final score, 70-46. The loss drops Philo to 5-7 overall, 2-5 in league play. The win moves John Glenn to 9-1 overall, 6-1 in MVL play. And let's go over some of the highlights from this one, Marcus, and see how we reach the final score. Pick this one up here in the second half. Cooper Briggs hit a couple of threes. One of them right there. He's fantastic. I don't know where this is going. Crabtree, he got one to fall. Griffin Arthur. Outside for the Electrics. Right here, right down the lane. That's open some inside off the bench. Davis right there in the lane. Two of this good team tonight. Davis once again. All around great floor game from Braden Davis. And I mentioned our final score, 70-46. Next up for these two respective teams, John Glenn will host Riverview next Tuesday, January the 13th. As the Philo Electrics that night will host the Morgan Raiders next Tuesday, January the 13th. Next up for us, Marcus, next Friday, a trip to Zanesville. We'll get to see the Blue Devils play Granville in LCL play.
Yep, my alma mater.
Yeah.
They're pretty decent this year. They beat this Philo team pretty handily.
Yeah, they scored almost 100 points against this Philo team, and they have a couple of players that are really dynamic, led by Luca Woods. So that'll be an exciting game. Yep. The LCL is a very competitive league. Looking forward to that one. But any final thoughts on this game tonight?
It's just like I said, like you said, the score doesn't really indicate how Philo played. So when they go back and they watch their film, they'll have a lot that they can hang their hat on. But another good thing for them is that all of their issues are fixable.
Yes.
They can be remedied. It's turnovers. It's letting the other team get off running. That's fixable.
Yeah, they have the personnel to compete. They just need to put the work in and get there. And they, like I said, we're only not even halfway through the season. A lot of basketball left to be played, so teams can obviously turn it around, and we hope the Electric can do that. But I agree with you. They have a lot to build on, even though they lost this game by 24 points. There's going to be a lot of positive things they can turn to when they watch this film. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching this presentation here on South 60 Films. Once again, I'm Ted Snyder. He's Marcus McPeck. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.